Hey Baddie, welcome back to the Baddest You podcast, where every listen takes you to the baddest version of yourself. I am your Baddie Level Up coach, Ambria, and today we're talking about jealousy. Make sure you guys check me out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at the Baddest You. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Ambria, and let's get into this week's episode. So first things first, what is jealousy? Jealousy is an emotion that we feel when we are comparing ourselves to other people, when we are desiring something that somebody else has, whether it's money, beauty, a person's partner, certain attributes that a person has, a lifestyle, whatever it is. When we're looking outside of ourselves at other people and wishing we had that lifestyle, we can find ourselves being jealous. Now, jealousy is not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a very natural human emotion. And I feel like a lot of times when people feel jealous, it's a really negative feeling, right? It's a huge feeling and it brings shame on oneself because it's like, if this person has that, why don't I have it? Oh, this person has that, how come I can't have that? And jealousy comes in when we look at other people and determine that we cannot have the same things that we desire that another person might have. But the first thing that you guys need to know when it comes to jealousy is that no one is you, and that is your superpower. You can't just focus on all the positive things about everybody else and what they have in this situation. And then when you look at yourself, you see yourself in such a negative light, because you have to understand every single person sees themselves as a whole person. They know their past, they know their faults, they know their flaws and the things that make them not perfect. But when we look at other people with fresh eyes, we can only see positive things most times because everybody's only ever posting their highlights online. And when we look and compare ourselves to these people in these situations, it can make us feel horrible inside. It can make us feel less than. But nobody is you. Who you are is a gift to this world. Every single hair in your head is on purpose. Every single thing about you is on purpose. And one of my favorite affirmations is, I am a work in progress and a masterpiece at the same time. We hold so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect, to be a person that we aren't, to have more value than we think that we have because we want to feel better about ourselves. We want to have the best things in life. But the thing is, you're not going to become a better version of yourself or be a better version of yourself by hating yourself into that better version of yourself. You have to love yourself, right? You are unique. Who you are, your upbringing, where you come from, your desires, the things that you want are gifts to this world and to yourself. And the universe, the God, spirit, the divine, right, made you on purpose. Every single thing about you is on purpose, even your flaws. Your weaknesses are strengths in other areas. And you have to see yourself highly regardless of the circumstance. And your love for yourself cannot be conditional based on the world around you. And like I said, everybody is at different stages and only post their highlights. We're not looking at the fact that that person was heartbroken or the fact that that person's partner probably cheated on them a bunch of times. We're not looking at the fact that this person might just have a trigger warning eating disorder and their body looks that way. Or we're not looking at the fact that this person, a parent of theirs, may have passed away at some point in their life and they're at where they're at today. All we see are the highlights and we compare our lows to their highs, which is a complete disservice to us. How does that serve us, right? You cannot hate yourself into being a better version of yourself. If everybody's only posting their highlights, then who are you to compare yourself to somebody who's posting the positive things online? And you do the same thing, right? You only post your highlights. We all want to be a better version of ourselves. And in this day and age of social media, there's so much pressure to be ahead of where we're at in life. I don't want to say it's unrealistic because you can have whatever it is that you want. It isn't beneficial to you to see yourself from a place of lack and lack your way into abundance. Anytime you look outside of you and you desire something and you compare yourself and you feel negative about yourself, that's never going to serve you. You have to be mindful. Okay, this person's posting their highlights. We are all human. We're all having this human experience. We've all been through heartbreak, shame, embarrassment, betrayal, right? And we should never wish that on other people. But if you look and see the reality of everybody's just trying their best in every waking moment, it'll just help you guys to humanize the people that you're admiring a little bit more so that you're not putting yourself down as much. Every single person has struggles to get to where they're at today. And one of my favorite things I like to think of is, if you knew what it took that person to have the thing that you wanted from them, right? That partner, the Grammy, the money, if you knew the path that they took, and it was like this really hard path, would you be willing to take that same path to have the things that they have? Because they earned that. A lot of times, and I'm not saying everybody, right? Everybody has different upbringings, but a lot of times successful people have to be extremely disciplined, have to be uncomfortable constantly. People go through a lot of things in life, right? If you knew that person was abused when they were younger, would you be willing to go through that? If you knew this person was orphaned when they were a teenager, would you be willing to go through that? If you knew this person experienced an abusive relationship, if you knew this person experienced poverty to get where they're at today, are you willing to experience the lifestyle that this person had to be where they're at? Me personally, anytime I see somebody win, I'm proud and I'm excited because one, I know my time's coming regardless. And number two, I just think if I had to go through this much to be where I'm at today, I can't even imagine the things they had to go through. I can't even imagine. And it's like, it's kind of the energy of like, I want to see everybody win. It's like, obviously this person deserves so much. Obviously this person earned that. And even if they didn't earn it, who are you to judge another person to tell them what they can or cannot have? It's just important to be mindful that everybody has struggles and that you're not the only person struggling. And if we could be more community oriented in the way that we're approaching things, then we will find ourselves being more optimistic and believing in ourselves in the process. Focus on your own journey. Everybody is on their own path. One of my favorite affirmations or favorite quotes is, what God has for you cannot be taken from you. There is a person out there that you are destined to marry who's going to treat you amazingly. And looking at this person in this relationship right now isn't going to take that away from you. There's money out there and a job or a business or millions of dollars you're meant to earn in this lifetime, and seeing somebody else with money is not going to take that away from you. If you remember that, all it takes is for you to keep going in your own journey to have the success you're looking for, then all you got to do is stop focusing so much on everybody else. Think of it like this, like we're all in a race, okay, and we all got to cross the finish line. And when you're looking at everybody else while you're running, all you're doing is taking away from your own race. All you're doing is taking away from your focus, your energy on your own path, and you're wasting your time, you're giving up your energy, and you're basically distracting yourself. It doesn't serve you. Like looking at somebody else while they're racing isn't going to make you run faster. You choosing to run faster is going to make you run faster. And you can use it as motivation, right? I'm talking like it's important to look around you. And healthy competition is good, but to look at them and genuinely feel jealous and allow that to like make you feel less than, that doesn't serve you. You can look at it and use it as motivation, but you got to stay focused on your own journey. You got to stay focused on one foot in front of the other, because what's meant for you will be for you regardless. Another person having success is not taken away from your own. Okay, another person's beauty is not taken away from your own. Remember this, Christmas lights are beautiful, but so are flowers. Looking at Christmas lights, it's in the wintertime, beautiful. Really, we admire it. It's a holiday special that we get to admire. And then when it's springtime, we get to look at flowers blooming and the colors. But one beauty doesn't take away from the other. Just because you may look at another person and you say, oh, they have this attribute to them and this attribute to them, does not mean that it takes away from you. Oh, you might like that person's laughter, but your nose is beautiful. Or you might like that person's hair, but have you seen your eyes? We have to stop looking at a whole person of somebody else, but only choosing aspects of ourselves. Like every single person has insecurities. That's natural unless you work past them. Every single person has insecurities, but you cannot find yourself feeling less than within yourself because you're looking at somebody else's beauty, okay? Because like I said, Christmas lights are beautiful, but so are flowers. You are a flower. And remember, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. One thing I like to do personally is see myself as the beauty standard. Being an African-American woman, right, and growing up in a society that prioritized Eurocentric beauty standards, it was very hard for me to see myself as beautiful, but I had to do the inner work, and I had to understand that it is impossible for 7 billion different people to adhere to one standard, right? I actually wrote a play about that. And when that line was said, it hit so many people. Like, how are we all going to try to be a specific standard of what? Blonde hair, blue eyes, skinny waist, or whatever the beauty standard is, because it's constantly changing. You have to decide to be your own beauty standard. As long as I'm the absolute best version of myself, that's the only thing that matters to me. As long as I'm taking care of myself and loving myself, that's the only thing that matters to me. Who am I to neglect myself and uplift everybody else up in my head and expect myself to feel good for that? Like, it's not going to serve you, baddies, right? And the most important thing you could ever do for yourself is to add to you, to uplift yourself. All right, baddies? Just remember that whatever it is that you envy in others is something you already have within yourself. Hey, self, it's time to step into this version of ourselves. Looking at somebody else and envying their money is because you have the exact capacity to create that money. And I like to think it's not even jealousy, it's our soul being like, hey, I want more. We can have this. Here's this indicator that I want more. Looking at somebody else's beauty, oh, they have clear skin and you have acne, you can create clear skin for yourself. You have to do your research. You have to figure out the right regimens for yourself. Look at somebody else with a partner and you're single for a long time. You can have a partner. You're only desiring these things because it's accessible to you. One thing my mom told me growing up is that other people's beauty is a reflection of my own. If I'm ever seeing something that looks beautiful, it's just because I'm just as beautiful. And I'm so grateful she instilled that in me as a child, because now to this day, I have never ever in my entire life ever felt jealous over another woman's appearance, how they look, right, that the way they act, because I've always seen another person's beauty as a reflection of my own. And I don't see that as a lack of me. I see it and I'm inspired. I love being surrounded by beautiful people. I love being surrounded by beautiful things. It makes me feel very inspired. I'm a Taurus. I love aesthetics and I love seeing beautiful things. And I always say, if I see it in somebody else, it's because it's available for me. Remember, you attract what you are. So if it's in your like circle of reference, if it's in your energy, if it's in your reality, it's because you have the ability to create it for yourself. Whether this is online, you see it. Whether this is in person, you see it. Or whether it's just on Pinterest, a vision board, a goal or a dream, you only desire it because it's 100% possible for you to have it. And so it's like when you feel these emotions of jealousy, let it be an indicator. Okay, well, I want to have this thing. Thank you for showing me self, right? That I desire this thing. And instead of trying to tear others down to feel better about yourself, you add to yourself instead, okay? You see somebody's butt while they're walking by and it's like, I wish my butt was that big. You don't go, oh, well, it's too big, like normal, like that. You go, okay, I'm gonna go work in the gym and work harder and take care of myself, right? Like we're all supposed to be inspiring each other. There's a reason why we are so other people oriented sometimes, because we're community oriented individuals. Like, of course, we're going to see other people and feel ways about ourselves sometimes, but it can motivate you and inspire you if you allow it to. You should never tear down another person. You should never tear down another woman. Let's say you have a boyfriend and this boyfriend keeps following pictures of girls who are half naked and whatnot. Let's just say that's the case, right? You should never put down the woman. You should put down the boyfriend. You should be like, okay, well, you're not respecting me. You shouldn't be like, oh, why do girls post like that? Because first of all, like women should be able to do whatever they want. We are not going to fall into the patriarchy by following, oh, well, she shouldn't do that. Why? It's called being a pick-me. And being a pick-me, all that does is allow you to be disrespected the same way you're disrespecting women. You have to disrespect women to gain respect from men. Guess what? You're attracting men that disrespect women. You will not be valued. You will not be picked. And the reason why this doesn't work anyways is because you are the chooser. So instead of you trying to put down that other woman or trying to be angry at other women because your man is not choosing you, choose a better man. Choose a better man. Like, you're the chooser, right? So it's like, stop putting down other women. And obviously there's women who go after relationships sometimes. Obviously a lot of us have sister wounds and we've been through a lot with other women, but remain a girl's girl always. Like, never find yourself giving up on other women because of women in your past. Like, maybe you grew up, and I grew up the same way and had a lot of harmful relationships with women because I felt like my mom always convinced me people were jealous of me. And I'm grateful she told me that, because I don't think less of other women. Like, I constantly want to uplift and give. Now I have boundaries, but I refuse to ever allow myself to hate women because of how other women treated me. So no, do not allow yourself to tear down women. Do not allow yourself to try to put somebody else down for the sake of you being uplifted. Always add to yourself. Uplift yourself instead. If somebody's doing something to disrespect you, do not tear down the person that they may be disrespecting you for. Value yourself. Stop giving so much energy and attention. Remember, whatever it is you're worried about is what you're available for. Stop being so available for lower self-concepts where you're like, oh, this person's better than me. Oh, they're choosing another person. The second someone doesn't choose you, remember, they're lost. You're too busy being first place to notice anything less. Okay, anything that's not choosing you is second, third, fourth, and you're too busy being first place to notice. So stop tearing down other people and start using it as a way to add to you instead. Because you are the prize. You are the prize. You are the most important person in your reality. You're the most beautiful person in your reality, and you are the one to impress. This is your life, right? There is nobody outside of you that has bigger value than you that you're supposed to be looking up to and impressing and trying to be chosen by. Like, you are the chooser. If you take everybody else off of a pedestal, you're going to eliminate that jealousy. Because the reason why I never feel jealous ever is because I'm the one to impress. I am not looking to try to be better in someone else's eyes. I know that what's meant for me will simply be for me, and that I don't have to do anything to be of value to other people. And if people do not naturally see my value, I let them. I don't try to choose them. I don't try to chase them. I don't have to allow them in my life though. And I value myself. Remember that, like, you are the prize. You are the one to impress. Anybody that's not choosing you, adding to you, making you feel special, it's their loss, right, baddies? I always say the second someone doesn't choose me, they have bad taste. Like, I don't trust anything else that comes out of their mouth. So it's like, if someone's not choosing you, that's their loss. Let them lose you. Okay, because you are the best thing that's ever hit this planet. Eliminate the need to be chosen, and the second you remember that it's a privilege and honor to be in your presence, the second everything you want to create for yourself is going to come into your life. And just remember, baddies, like, you are what you think. If you think someone's better than you, that's what you're going to manifest. If you think, oh, they're prettier than me, that's what you're going to manifest. You have to choose your thoughts wisely. You have to be mindful. I will never ever sit in my head and actually ever say someone's above me in value, someone is better than me, someone is more beautiful than me. I'm too busy focusing on adding to myself. Literally, my self-concept is that I'm the baddest, best thing that's ever hit this planet, no matter the case, no matter the circumstance. And if I see something of somebody else that I might like admire, I see it as an indicator to work on myself. If I see someone's body type and it's like, damn, like their body, I'm like, okay, let me do this exercise in the gym. I'm not like, oh my gosh, they're better than me. No, I'm like, okay, so what? Like, I can always add to myself. And so just remember that you are what you think. You have to train yourself to stop seeing other people as above you. You have to train yourself to stop making other people above you in your head. There's nobody above you in value in life. Do you understand? You are the most important person in your life. You are the most important and most powerful person in your life. And however it is that you perceive yourself, other people are going to perceive you the same way. Of course, it's natural to feel these feelings, but you can feel these feelings and say, you know what? But it's fine because I'm working on my self-concept. All right, I see this beautiful person. I see this person's money. I see these things. I'm working on myself. I always say be too busy showing up to notice that you're lacking something. If you have the space to say, oh, they're more prettier than me, oh, they have more money than me, oh, this is circumstances, you're not showing up enough in your own life. You should never be sitting and watching someone else's life more than you're adding to your own. So it's like, if you're not seeing your own value, if you're feeling less than, if you're feeling triggered, it's because you could be adding to yourself way more. So take everybody else off of a pedestal, okay? Like I said, there's nobody to impress. You are the one to impress. Anybody who wants you to prove yourselves to them, anybody who wants you to try to win them over or try to like think that they're better than you, like they literally don't exist. Like you're not available for thinking like that anymore. You see yourself highly. You're number one. You're the most important person in your reality. You understand your beauty. You understand that there is no standard, that there is nothing to reach and attain to but being the best version of yourself. So are you eating healthy, right? Are you drinking your water? Are you working out? Are you reading your books? Are you working on your self-concept? Are you meditating? Are you in some type of like spiritual practice? Are you loving yourself? If you're looking at yourself and you're not loving yourself, maybe you're like vaping and like not taking care of your body, or maybe you're just trying to be a pick-me in relationships, or maybe you're the type of person who only goes after people in relationships. Like if you're acting in ways that are like not showing that you love yourself, you need to change that, because the most attractive you will be is when you're loving yourself the most. So if you don't feel worthy of love, if you don't feel worthy of being attractive, and all you do is see other people and feel like, oh, I can't have this, I can't have that, you could do better. Be better, because it's in your hands. And the only reason why you don't have what you want is because you need to believe that you can have what you want. No one is your competition, only past you. There is nobody to impress. There is nobody to try to be like obviously healthy competition is healthy, right? Like when it comes to career and things like that, when it comes to striving for your goals, like yes, it could be excellent motivators. But number one, you never compete for a man. A man will never be the prize, all right? You never compete for a partner. You choose yourself always. If your partner, let's say they cheat on you, you let them go, you choose yourself. You're not trying to be chosen by somebody who already showed you they're out of alignment with you because they're not valuing you and they're not honest. Like you don't have time for that. Remember, like no one is your competition, only you. That's such an egotistical way to think. Like when our ego is triggered, we try to hold on to things that do not serve us just because we want to prove to ourselves that we're chosen, or just because we want to prove to ourselves that we're valuable. But your value does not lie in how other people treat you. You're valuable regardless. Like your value does not lie on if other people choose you or not. You're valuable regardless. Your value does not lie if other people agree with your existence or whatever it is that you're doing or not. You're valuable regardless. If you could recognize that, like I said, another person's beauty does not take away from your own. Another person's money does not take away from your own. And you can have anything you want in this lifetime. And you're going to have more of a motivation to create what it is that you want instead of finding yourself limiting yourself because of other people's energy. Jealousy is really your soul encouraging you to stand into your true self. It's showing you what matters to you, where your values lie, the things that you want for yourself. You're looking at these people in these situations and you're feeling triggered because you want more. And that's okay to want more. It's not okay to put people down because of it. It's not okay to feel like, well, I can't have that, so I'm stuck. No. It's okay to want more. It's okay to feel jealous. Jealousy is natural. Jealousy is like, hey, I want better for myself, so have better. If you're in a relationship but you feel jealous of a girl with their boyfriend because of how they treat them, then maybe you should either communicate with your partner or choose a better partner. Like there's nothing wrong with you because you feel jealous. You're not less than because you feel jealous. It's always okay to want more for yourself and to want better for yourself, and you deserve to have better. So the jealousy becomes a problem when you tell yourself, well, I can't have this, I can't have that, because remember, you are what you think. So it's important, baddies, to be mindful. How are you perceiving yourself? It's important to be winner-oriented, like winner-minded. You shouldn't be looking at other people's situations and say like, well, I can only have this and I can't have that and this person. Like, you should be like, anything I want, I can have, no matter what. And if I'm jealous, thank you, self, for showing me that I can have what I want, that I desire this thing because I know that I can have it. Remember that you're most beautiful when you're adding to yourself or loving yourself. And I get it. There's so many things out there that maybe we'll feel jealous and we feel like we can't have it. Like maybe like you grew up in a home or a town where it was like the beauty standard was like the white girl, and maybe you were black, and it's like you wish you had different skin tone or you wish you had different hair texture. It's not the hair texture, the skin tone you desire. It's the emotion that you want to feel. You want to feel validated. You want to feel chosen. You want to feel like number one. You want to feel accepted and not mistreated. You have to understand, you getting these things are not going to make you experience injustice less or make you more chosen. The only thing that will make you feel chosen, accepted, validated is by choosing yourself, validating yourself, and accepting yourself. And the second you say, I'm perfect exactly as I am, you will eliminate these needs to lower yourself based on other people and other beauty standards and other situations. Like, you have to choose yourself. You will not feel more safe by having more money. You will not feel more loved by having a person love you. You will not feel more taken care of by expecting the world to take care of you. You will only feel these things by showing up for yourself. So my thing is this: how do you expect the world around you to show up for you if you're not showing up for yourself? You owe it to yourself to give yourself everything that you want instead of trying to chase and hope and wish that you're chosen. Only surround yourself with people who uplift you. If you're in a relationship with somebody who's constantly belittling you, constantly making you feel like you can't have better, constantly, like, you're choosing that. You're choosing that experience because you feel worthy of that. You're looking to be chosen. You're available for that. Your life is fully in your own hands. You owe it to yourself to only surround yourself with people who see you highly, to only be in spaces where you are actively chosen, to be in positions where you're loving yourself most, where you're not chasing people and hoping and wishing. Like, you deserve to have high self-concept, high self-worth, and you owe it to yourself to surround yourself with people who value you. If you constantly feel misunderstood, constantly feel not chosen, constantly feel like you're being disrespected or you're not being valued, it's because you're choosing to surround yourself with people who do not align with you. And other people not choosing you does not mean there's something wrong with you. It means that you need to value yourself by choosing yourself and not surrounding yourself with these people. You owe it to yourself to see yourself as the best. Just remember that everybody is amazing. Hurt people, but people who love themselves try to encourage and uplift others while having boundaries in the process. Imagine like being born as this version of yourself on this planet. You are you, yet you see yourself under everybody else. When I tell you, you owe it to yourself, you literally owe it to yourself to see yourself as the baddest thing that's ever hit this planet, because you are what you think. And other people's opinions of you do not dictate your value, does not make you feel less. If 100 people call you ugly, but you say you're beautiful, I told y'all before, you're beautiful. Why? Because this is your life and your perspective matters most. Why? Because the world around you is a reflection of how you view yourself. And so if you see yourself highly, even if you don't feel it now, if you work on your self-concept, continue to tune into these episodes of the Baddest You podcast. Continue to work on yourself and love yourself. You will see yourself highly. How are you going to live in your life and have everybody else above you? No more. You owe it to yourself, and it's about having a personal boundary where you say, you know what, I no longer allow myself to feel last place in my life because I deserve the best, and I'm no longer settling for less. Because comparison is the thief of joy. Grass is not greener on the other side, baddies. Like, no matter how much you try to convince yourselves, the grass is green where you water it. What's the point of sitting and like just focusing on giving everybody else energy and uplifting everybody else in your head if you're not bettering yourself? And it's like I said, it's like, how do you expect to receive what you want if you're not giving it to yourself? The first step to having anything you want, one, is believing you can have it. So looking at people's beauty but believing you can't have it is not going to serve you. You got to look at other people's beauty and say, oh, of course I can have that same beauty. Or you got to look at other people's money and say, of course I can have this. When you show up, your desires show up, baddies. It's not serving you to be in a position where you're doubting yourself. I hope I'm chosen. I hope I can get this. It's important for you to choose yourself because you deserve the best. And if you understand that you are fully in control of your whole life, you're responsible for your own energy. Your experience is a reflection of what you're choosing, and you become more responsible for yourself, your experience, your energy, all of the above. You will start actively living the life you love way more instead of settling for a life that you hate by choosing mindsets that do not align with you winning. The goal is we want to see everybody win. We want to see everyone win. Anybody who thinks they're better than anybody else or needs to feel better than anybody else thinks less of themselves. People who love themselves, value themselves, want to uplift others. They want everybody to win. There is room at the top for everybody. You can be beautiful and you can be beautiful. And if somebody chooses that person, maybe it's because they're in alignment with that person. You're still gonna have your person who's probably gonna be even better because they're meant for you. We have to really eliminate this mindset of lack. Like, you're not losing because this person chose this person. You're not losing because this person has money right now. You're never losing. You have to stop seeing yourself as a person that can lack. You can never lose. You could never lack because your existence alone is abundance. You can have anything you want. And the only reason why you don't have it is because you don't believe you can have it yet. And so it's like, take a pause and start becoming more responsible for yourself. Show up better for yourself instead of giving everybody else energy and attention, right? Because like I said, it only slows you down on your own path. And 9 times out of 10, you're not willing to go through the horrid things they had to experience to win and get the things that they want. Victoria Monet, I think it took her like 15 years to get 3 Grammys. Are you willing to work 15 years to not get recognition that you deserve, to have those Grammys that you're desiring now? Are you willing to constantly be degraded, constantly be not recognized? Are you willing to go through the things that people have to go through to get the things they want? If not, then you need to stop comparing yourself to others and focus on your own path. And 9 times out of 10, you've been through enough as it is. You are destined for greatness because you're you. And how could you look at everybody else and not see you? Remember, the grass is green wherever you water it. Cultivate yourself, add to yourself, add to your appearance, add to your mindset, add to your lifestyle. Better yourself. The only reason why you don't have what you want is because you're not giving it to yourself. You're not lacking. You just need to choose yourself. And finally, baddies, just remember that you are it. You are everything. Once you decide who you are, once you choose who you are, self-concept, you will see everybody else mirror that back to you. You see the life you want come to you. You will see the world around you completely shift in your favor, but you have to decide it first. So stop trying to be chosen, stop chasing, stop hoping and wishing, and start deciding, start being, start owning your power, and recognize that you have full capability to create whatever it is that you want for yourself. So stop chasing, stop looking to be chosen. Remember, it is a privilege and an honor to be in your presence. You have full capability to create whatever it is that you want. You are not stuck. You are the prize. You are the most important person in your reality. You're the baddest to ever do it. And instead of looking at another person to feel jealous and saying, oh, I can't have this, and trying to tear other people down, look at yourself and say, thank you for showing me, self, that this is what I want, and I know I can have it because it's within reach. It's in my reality. This person's beauty is a reflection of my own. This person is showing me who I can be, right? Be motivated, be winner-minded, and be inspired. And remember, Baddie, you are the baddest to ever do it. Anything you want is fully in your own hands. All you have to do is make the decision to step in that direction. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's episode of The Baddest You. Make sure you guys check out The Baddest You on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at The Baddest You. And make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Ambria Hearty. And I will see you guys on next week's episode of The Baddest You. Bye, baddies. Mwah.